All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to week two of our St. Mary's journey through technology. I want to thank you for your work to this point, and we will keep working toward just giving you some more ideas as we go along. Just to the right of this post, there is a click link to an article or a blog post from George Couros. Now, I referenced Mr. Couros when we met in person. I think he's a really, really intelligent writer around innovation. And if you do choose to sign up for his blog, you will get 2 to 3 posts per week. They're short reads, super easy, and they give such great ideas. This post that you will link to, if you click the link to the right, talks about the difference between fun and learning when it comes to technology. And even though we all want to do this entertainment phase around technology, one of the things he references back to is the really important aspect of keeping it based in learning. And I really appreciate his perspective on this. So that's kind of point one. So this week we've got a couple tasks for you. The first one is, how do we handle technology around assessment? And there's lots of different ways to look at this. And I've played around with a lot of different ideas, and you guys have done some of this as well. So I'm going to give you 3 options on this. You only need to pick one. I do want to challenge you maybe to step outside your comfort zone just a bit. So the 3 options include Seesaw. Seesaw is a little bit more primary based, but as I've dug into Seesaw a little bit more, I've realized that it could actually go up into the high school levels without any problem. It does follow a little bit of a Google Classroom theme, but it does give you some really cool opportunities to record student voice, along with to see progress from a student as you've gone through a term. So that's kind of important. The second option is something called Plickers. If you've done Plickers before, you know what this is about. If not, there's some good tutorial information on Plickers. A really good way to keep kind of an anonymous understanding of exactly what your students know, along with recording on their own, or giving you the opportunity to see what their answers are, even though they might not be seeing it publicly or in front of their classmates. So it's a neat tool. You need an iPad or some sort of iOS device and some pieces of paper. It's really, really simple. And the last assessment tool is Google Forms. And I think in just our conversations when we met last week, I can obviously tell that Google Forms is something some of you have used. And I really want you to focus, if you choose that one, to really focus on the assessment point and what the benefits are to that and kind of how that works. If you're 100% comfortable with Google Forms, I really encourage you to step outside of that and maybe check out one of the other 2 options as well. One quick note on Seesaw. I've learned a lot about Seesaw from my teachers here in St. James, and they love it. Seesaw is one of those things that I think will never go away here. We actually have in our district 4 or 5 Seesaw ambassadors, which is a process after you've done a little bit extra training. And if you become a Seesaw ambassador, you actually get the product completely free, which is a really good opportunity. So if it's something that interests you, something to check into. The next piece for this week is our websites. And in courses I've taught previous, websites have not been developed real well. You guys have a leg up on this. So this is not something that is necessarily something you have to change or rebuild or anything like that, but it is something we'll just bring a little bit more focus to. Nothing formal is due, but I'm going to ask you to resubmit your web addresses simply to give me another look at them. And then I'm going to develop a few things between now and then, or now and toward the end of the course, to really tweak and just add a couple components. So one component I want you to consider is parent interaction. How does that work? And then also, what can we do to really open up remedial learning? So what is it that you can put in your website that will post for kids to go review if they need extra help? And also, back to the parent piece, to give parents an opportunity to contribute to their child's learning. Now, some of you might be challenged by that in a way that says, are parents paying attention to this? My hope is that maybe this will bring them in a little bit more. Next piece is just a quick review of the SAMR piece. You'll see me kind of referring back to this. Again, not something you have to put into every unit, but something I really do want you to keep considering, because to me, the SAMR piece is kind of the guide of how this course works, is how do you push that level? How do you get it up one level further? And it's not something you do in every unit. The assessment this week is assessment 2, and it deals with digital citizenship. One of the things that I think is really important when we develop ideas around digital citizenship, it should be a school-based program. So this is not a somebody, Miss Hogsburg's class or Mrs. Weber's class. This is a school-based program. So when I have you do the work for assessment 2, you're actually going to be working in groups. And I tried to balance the groups out. You'll see the grouping on a future slide. Tried to balance the group out the best I could to keep you in grade bands as close as possible, and sometimes in subject areas as well. Remember that when you're developing these, think holistically, think of your whole school, something you can develop that all of your teachers can use in the long run. So that's assessment 2. It is a group activity, and I will be sharing some details on that in the later slides. The next piece in this is simply introductory, but it is something that's going to come later. It's called a hyperdoc. And a hyperdoc is a kind of an all-enclosed lesson or unit. And some of you might be using hyperdocs already. And if you are, you're, again, a little ahead of the game. I believe this was part of assessment 6. There's nothing due at this time, but I really do want you to take some time to just kind of start playing around in this, start looking at what a hyperdoc actually is and kind of how it works. It's a wonderful platform for Google, to use with Google Classroom. So something I think you guys will all take well, and you'll do great with it. So for now, it's just introductory, but I just want to make sure we're paying attention. I want to thank Jared and Christine for their weekly technology spotlight work this week. This week we have Kristen and Zach will be up by Wednesday evening, and I will post their information actually in the same place that I posted Jared and Christine's work, and then I will look for your class comments on those weekly technology spotlights. Thank you very much for your comment work on your classmates' posts. When we do this course in an online format, it really is the only way we can communicate. Now, one of the things that's important is that some of you can walk right across the hall and communicate with your colleagues on this topic. So, but for me, that's quite a distance away from you, and I don't see you guys every day. And maybe for Daniel, who's working in the other school, he doesn't get to communicate with you quite as well either. And then those of you in the primary level, the same thing. So this gives you guys an opportunity to just kind of go back and forth and communicate via messaging. And I really like those of you that are commenting on each other's comments, because it develops that kind of back and forth communication. I can already see that some of you have picked up ideas from things like Google Keep and from Class Dojo and a few other things like that. So keep going with that. I really love collaboration. It's a huge part of what I think is important in education today. And it's also a huge benefit to your departments, but also your school system. Office hours this week. I will be around Wednesday evening if you need anything. If you want to, just give me a little heads up that you might be calling or whatever. It just gives me a little prep. If there's a topic area you want me to take a peek at before you call, again, I'll be available about 7:30 to 9 this week. And again, if you don't need me, if you're doing great, keep doing what you're doing. But I just want to make sure you know that I'm available. So give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll be checking throughout the night, and we'll make sure we get anything we'll get anything to you. Last piece, I know the end of the school year is coming, and it's coming hard for me too. I just want to make sure you understand, keep working hard, but also realize that if there's something that's getting in the way, just shoot me a note. And we'll make sure that we accommodate in the best way we can. This is a crazy time for all teachers. We get it, completely get it. So keep doing what you're doing. Again, I appreciate your work to this time. I can tell the professionalism is at a high level, and we hope that continues. So enjoy your springtime. Hope you're staying a little bit drier than when I left a week or so ago Wednesday night with the snow on the top of my car. So take care, and good luck to the Pine City and Hinckley Finlayson athletic teams going forward. Take care, everybody.